Hello guys, my name's John, I'm the Geeky Fanboy, and welcome to my hopefully regular Doctor Who reviews, because while we're waiting for a new series to come out, I might as well take a look at some of the past episodes. And yeah, we're not starting with an episode actually, because I thought we might as well start this little review series with the Doctor Who movie. Because, it's kind of in between the classic series and then the new Who series. So we kind of have this little movie in between, and since the movie is sort of infamous, I want to say, within the Doctor Who fandom and canon and all that, I thought I'm going to take a look at it and tell you my thoughts on it. So I have actually seen this movie before, so this is not my first time watching it. I think I watched it for the first time like a couple of years ago, maybe like 3 or 4 years ago. And this was kind of like my first step towards classic Who, even though it's kind of in between. But it's been a while since I've seen the movie in like full, so yeah, it was good seeing it again. So in the introduction I said that the movie is kind of infamous, meaning whenever I read some sort of opinion on the Doctor Who movie, either on YouTube or somewhere else, by basically any kind of Whovian, it's usually a negative opinion. Like, it's usually something along the lines of, okay, yeah, we all forget about the movie, that maybe didn't happen. Or like, yeah, Paul McGann was cool, but like the movie, maybe not so much. So like, I've never actually seen like really positive opinions on it, or someone who was like, yeah, it had its faults, but I really, really love it, or something like that. Which makes this kind of awkward, because I really, really like this movie. So let's get into it. Why do I enjoy this movie? First of all, obviously, Paul McGann is freaking brilliant. You just have to say that. To be completely honest here, I immediately fell in love with him as the Doctor the first time I saw this movie. Like, I'd never seen any classic Who, I'd never even really, like, seen any of the stuff from the movie or from Paul McGann, and I was like, okay, well, let's watch the movie. Oh, it's like the Eighth Doctor in this, right? Oh, let's take a look. And as soon as he was on screen, and then he has like this Lord Byron outfit, as soon as I saw him and you hear him talk in like this kind of manic but also excited way, I was like, this guy is perfect. Like, no joking, just from watching this movie, he immediately, back when I watched it for the first time, he immediately like went up into like my top favorite Doctors probably, which was really, really weird, because I thought, okay, I've seen this Doctor only for like not even 90 minutes, and I love him so much. Since then, obviously, that short came out, Night of the Doctor, and I've listened to some of the audio stuff, like at least some of the songs I could get my hands onto, and then all that stuff just makes Paul McGann even more brilliant. And when you watch this movie, I think even people who don't like the movie most of the time admit that Paul McGann is definitely a good thing about this movie. So I really, really enjoy his performance. He's just so... he's kind of adorable, I think. He's kind of adorable and cute. He has this nice sense of wonder about him, and how excited he gets when he, like, when he gets to talk about the stuff that Doctor talks about, the universe and all that. One of my favourite scenes in the movie is when he and Grace go outside for a walk, and he starts remembering Gallifrey and what happened, and he gets really excited. He's like, yeah, Gallifrey, I remember what the sky looked like, and then he just stops and is like, these shoes, they fit perfectly, and he runs off, and I'm like, he is so cute. So like, yeah, I love the character of the Eighth Doctor in this movie. He's so enthusiastic, and there's just something about him you can't help but just like. Speaking of the Doctor, we also, of course, have Sylvester McCoy, 7th Doctor, like his last appearance in this movie in the first couple of minutes. I love how openly British everything is at the beginning, like when the Doctor sits down to read, some classic music playing in the background. He has a cup of tea, jelly baby. I'm like, this feels just so British, and I love it. I love that he's reading the Time Machine, because of course Doctor reads the Time Machine. Also in the opening we get like a very good look at what the interior of the TARDIS looks like in the movie, and I really love this interior design. It's, yeah, I'd say it's probably my favourite interior design of the TARDIS. I just love how big and grand everything looks. It looks very steampunk-ish, I think, and I just like that it has this sort of, well, living room feeling to it. Like, you do have the column and everything in the middle, but then it just branches out, and like right next to the console, the Doctor sits down to read his books, and then he listens to his music. And I love how it just looks like this thrown together living room with all sorts of old stuff but also new stuff and Gallifreyan stuff. It just looks so cool. I do hope, I know it's not gonna happen, but I do hope that maybe one day we get this design back, sort of, because I really like it. So yeah, and obviously we also have the Master as the villain in the movie. Eric Roberts, I think, is the actor's name, if I remember it correctly now, hopefully. And yeah, most of the time he's like the Master that no one really likes, or like he's definitely not Top Master, and obviously he's not Top Master, of course he's not. But I like how obviously villainous and like 90s antagonist and over dramatic he is. I just really enjoy watching that. Also, it's like a movie from the 90s. It's kind of what you expect him to be like. And I like how menacing he is, how deadly that he he doesn't like shoot someone or kill them indirectly through someone else. No, he like directly kills people in this movie, like just breaking their neck or whatever, and you see some of that shit actually happening. And I like the idea with the green eyes, and that he can control other people's minds. This is something the Master has done multiple times before and since then, so I thought that was kind of cool. Whole stuff in the beginning was a bit weird with like this worm, snake, energy, goo. However it got out of the chest, who knows? And then when it jumps into the guy, bit weird, bit creepy, but you know, that's the Master for you, I guess. And sure, he's like very cheesy and a bit cringy and like very 90s, also with the sunglasses and the big leather coat. Like, you immediately see that's the bad guy, but I honestly think he works just fine, like for the movie, and I do kind of like that he is this sort of cliche sort of villain, because it is a lot of fun to watch this Master on screen, and that he like really enjoys being dramatic, like when he comes down the stairs and he's dressed in like Gallifreyan robes, and it's like, I always like to dress up for the occasion. I'm like, oh, yeah, of course you do. And then as our companion for the Doctor in this movie, we have Dr. Grace Holloway, and I must say I like Grace. She's cool. Also, I like that they made her a doctor as well, so I don't know, it kind of fits that she, if you think about it, is actually the one who kills him and causes him to regenerate. I'm gonna talk about the regeneration in a second, but yeah, I like Grace. She's cool. She's a tad bit annoying at the very beginning, but that kind of ceases as the movie goes on. And I really just enjoy her dynamic with the Doctor, and I think she reacts as you would probably expect anyone to react. Like, she doesn't believe it, but of course she's kind of interested in what's going on and realizes that the Doctor is not just some ordinary random human guy. And I don't know, I just really enjoy her interactions with him. I like how their friendship and relationship develops throughout the movie. And when the movie ended, the first time I watched it, I was actually sad that she wasn't gonna join him, because I honestly thought she would have made a really good like continuing companion for Paul McGann's Doctor. And also, I should mention it because it was kind of a big thing at the time that the Doctor kissed one of his companions, and in this movie he kisses her like I think 3 times or something. First time I watched it, I was like, yes, you go, you two. I don't know. I just liked it. Also now upon rewatch, I was like, yeah, I kind of like it. I don't know. Sure, the first time it comes a bit out of nowhere, and this being like a British American movie, you would kind of think, okay, yeah, this is like a very sort of maybe American Hollywood thing that the main guy needs a love interest or someone to kiss. But what I noticed is this is like their friendship or relationship, or however you want to put it, it's not really written as a developing romantic relationship or anything. Like their story doesn't move towards saying I love you or anything. Like that never happens, and there isn't really this lovey-dovey thing going on, at least not like in a big way, I think. And when they kiss, it's just something like that happens, and it shows how much they like each other, how affectionate they are for each other. But it's not like this deep, super deep. I love you. You're like the first person I've met in this new body, and I love you. And you know, it's not that. I kind of like that it's not that. And at the end, she decides, no. I mean, I really like you, and we probably could have something if he would stay with her, but doesn't happen. And she's like, no, I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna stay with my normal human life, and you go on and travel. And they kiss, and it's fine. Like, that's it. I kind of like how straight up they are about this, and how it's kept kind of, well, sort of low-key or sort of neutral. So yeah, I like that they didn't go with like the classic falling in love relationship subplot with the two of them, that it doesn't lead up to like, oh, will they, won't they? It's a sort of breakup because they're having a fight, and then it all goes up to saying, oh, I love you. Like, it's not that, and that's what I love about it. And yeah, coming to the story of the movie, I think the story feels very Doctor Who-ish. Like, honestly, there is maybe a bit too much action, you could say, but honestly, if people are complaining about there not being enough like thrilling action or nothing cool happening on screen in the last series, go watch the movie. There's plenty of it in there. Yeah, the movie kicks off with the 7th Doctor getting shot by a street gang and landing in the hospital and basically getting killed there during an operation by Grace. And I can kind of understand that you would be feel a bit meh about how that regeneration happens, because, well, for Doctor Who it feels kind of dull, doesn't it? But I honestly don't mind, because it feels very realistic, and you would kind of expect that at some point this sort of thing would just happen to the Doctor. Like, it isn't always like a grand exit, you know? Sometimes you just happen to get shot by some bad people and then you die. Well, regenerate. But I don't know, I liked how, yeah, sort of realistic this was, and I also like how they still managed to play it like in a comedic way with him on the operating table and everything. So yeah, the rest of the story I think works fine. Like, it's very entertaining, I think. Sure, the story is, you could say it's a bit generic, and some stuff is maybe a bit too cheesy or too cringy or too like over the top, either story-wise or acting-wise. I mean, Paul McGann is also quite over-dramatic at some point, you have to say, but you kind of enjoy watching it because it's Paul McGann, you know. But it's a very fun story, I think. Like, it entertains you. It's basically what you'd expect from a bigger Doctor Who story. You have the Doctor versus the Master. You have some complicated time travel, world-ending stuff going on. The TARDIS is involved. We get to see the interior of the TARDIS. We have some cool side characters. Like, there's a lot of stuff to like there. And sure, I get that there's also a lot of stuff to hate about it. Like I said, bit cringy, bit cheesy, bit over the top. The editing is a bit weird in some places. But I honestly think that it's still a very entertaining story to watch. Also, as a quick side note, before I forget it, the music for this movie is so cool. When you watch the opening credits and you hear the Doctor narrating what has happened to the Master, and you hear like this kind of epic version of the Doctor Who theme slowly setting in, and then he finishes the monologue, and then like this grand version of the Doctor Who theme starts playing. It's like the opening credits roll and everything. That is so cool to watch, and the timing on this is so good, and it sounds really, really nice and sounds epic, like you would expect it from like the Doctor Who theme in a big movie. So yeah, that's me talking about the Doctor Who movie. I honestly don't think it's a bad movie. It might be that I'm a bit generous because, you know, it's Doctor Who and I like Paul McGann, and it's just nice. When I watched it, I have a lot of fun watching it. For me personally, there's not that much negative stuff about it. I do see what some people have problems with, but it honestly, that stuff is not in the way of having a good time when you watch this movie. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the Doctor Who movie. Do tell me what you think about the movie in the comments below, because I'd really, really like to know if I'm apparently the only person who likes this movie. You can also tell me if you don't like the movie. Please also feel free to tell me about that, because I honestly do understand, and if you like give good opinions, I read stuff and I accept everything. So yeah, do tell me in the comments below what you think. I hope you enjoyed this review. Like I said, I'll try regularly reviewing like past Doctor Who episodes. I thought just the movie would be a nice starting point. So yeah, look out for new Doctor Who reviews every Monday. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't done this already, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.